Hello. Hi. Good morning. Hi. Good morning, Elise. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning, Sidra.
Hi, everyone who's coming to join us today on Facebook Live. We are going to be answering some questions about using AngelSense. But at the beginning, I'd like you all to meet Elise, who is one of our super users. She will explain how she uses AngelSense, and she can give you some advice and some tips, and she knows all about it and has lots and lots of experience with that. So I'm going to let some people join us. We're going to build an audience, so we're going to say hello to some people that are just logging on. So we have Deb. Hi, Deb. Good morning.
Good morning.
Christine, hi. I see your question. I'm going to get to your question when we start answering the questions. Okay, you'll be first. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I just noticed our glasses are similar.
Yeah, I know, right?
Great. Okay, so we're building an audience. I just see people are joining us. It's always nice to, let the people that are coming on say hi. You can say hi to us today. Hello, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Where are you all joining us from? Let's see. I'm going to just let people know what we're doing. We're doing an AngelSense Q&A. Hello. Hi. Christine is joining us from Texas. Hi, Christine. Nice to see you today.
Good morning.
Susanna.
Good morning.
Hi. Great.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, I think we should start. I think I'm going to turn the screen over to Elise, who is going to introduce yourself, and we can address questions as you like, if you'd like to address them after you do your intro, and we'll go from there.
Okay, that's great. Let me give you a little bit of background about who I am. I'm a mom of two young men who are on the autism spectrum. They are full grown now. They were diagnosed when they were 5 and 7 years old. My oldest one was originally diagnosed with PDD-NOS, and the younger one, when he was first diagnosed, was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome. They are what a lot of people consider high-functioning autistics because they have no intellectual issues other than, let's say, a slight processing problem, and most of their issues are what you would call comorbid. They're anxiety-ridden, they have emotional issues, they may have auditory processing issues, and my oldest one also is epileptic. So what we like to say, though, is that just because you're high-functioning and you have this intellectual capacity doesn't mean that sometimes you don't need help. And it's very interesting because you will find that a lot of autistic self-advocates don't like functioning language because it takes away from the fact that they do sometimes have meltdowns or they do find themselves overwhelmed in a lot of situations. And that's really why we got AngelSense for our sons when they went off to college and graduate school. It wasn't because they weren't able, let's say, to cross the street on their own, or that they needed constant help, or that they were eloping at this point. It's because that sometimes during the day, when they have held so much together all the time, they can't hold it together anymore, and they may need help. And you need to know where they are. You need to know what they're doing, just so you can help them. And that's really the basics behind AngelSense for us. My oldest one went into this New York City to start graduate school, and we were concerned that he would get so overwhelmed by all the noises and the sounds and everything that he could turn the corner and just be lost and overwhelmed. So we wanted to know where he was, so in case he needed us. So it's different than when they were younger. Well, actually, when they were younger, there was nothing like AngelSense. Nobody had anything like this for autistic children. So it's a new wonderful world that we live in, that you can have these kind of supports for your children and feel a lot safer when they go out into the world, or, you know, living in your house. If you have a child that elopes, you don't have to constantly worry about it. You don't have to, you know, you can go to bed at night feeling a little bit more secure in your world, because you will have and know where they are and not have to fear so much. Hi, Susanna. Yeah, we're just like an hour north of New York City. So when he goes in, he takes the train. He learned to take the subway. He does do a lot of these things, but he also has an aide who goes with him, because he has epilepsy and he has generalized anxiety disorder on top of the anxiety caused from autism. We think that he needs a little help, and we were very lucky that our college and universities allowed this accommodation that we requested for him. Hi, Rosemarie. Hi, Anne. How are you this morning? Thank you for joining us. Does anybody have any kind of questions? Hi, Javi. Any questions that you'd like to ask about the AngelSense? We just find that it's an amazing product. Okay, Christine wants to know if there's a way that you can change the boundaries, making it sort of a free range shape. I don't know of that they can do that now with AngelSense. The GPS system, the way it works, it's circular. So that's showing a more realistic view of how far the GPS will go out into any area that's being covered. You can make the boundaries larger. So like, instead of having only 100 feet of an area, if your house isn't covered by that, or you can enlarge the boundary to make it a larger area. That's one way you can stop having false notifications happen. You just need to enlarge the geofence on the device.
Yeah, I'm actually going to just jump in on this question, because we get this question a lot in our user group. And one of the things that we are working on is something that will give you the ability to actually make the geofence a little bit smaller. But what we recommend is to take the geofence and move it just so that you have the front of the geofence bordering the front of your house, and it might not be exactly centered over your house. So that's a way to get around that with the borders. In the meantime, it's definitely, we prefer to have less false alerts, because if your geofence is not covering the entire area, if your child gets really close to the edge of the geofence, even if they're by a window, sometimes it gets picked up by a cell tower across the street, and you might get a notification that your child left. So we really want to make it so that it's very accurate. So yeah. We have, she's saying, yeah, I was wanting to make it more detailed, closer to the building, so I can see if my son goes out of the building into parking lots. Yeah, definitely. If it's something for school or in your house, I mean, I would recommend actually getting an alarm just for your door, just because the way that the system is set up is that it has to go through our analytics server, and if this is a major concern, then it's just so that you're realistic about your expectations of the device. Like, it does have to be read by the GPS satellite. It has to go through the server. It has to be read by the server and analyzed, and then sent to your phone or your app. If you do want to have a quicker notification for a specific area, you can set something called the early warning mode, which is an early warning alert, which sort of filters the server process a little. It makes it a little lighter so that it comes to your phone faster. So that's something you can definitely try. And we'll pass on that request to our developers to see if that's something they could maybe do in the future. So,
I wanted to pass on a story of one of.
I'll go back to that question. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to pass on a story about one of the things that prompted us to buy AngelSense. Was, as I mentioned, my older son is epileptic, and he was supposed to meet a tutor one day in college, and he didn't show up, and we had no idea where he was. As far as we knew, he could have fallen and had an epileptic fit and hit his head. We actually called security for the college. He lived at home and went to school, so they knew us. We called them, and they sent all their security personnel looking for him to find out where he was. And if we had had the AngelSense, then we could have just looked on where he was or tried to call the AngelSense, or he was actually staying in the library because he just didn't want to meet the tutor and he was just being an ornery 19-year-old at the time. But this is one of the things that sort of made us realize that he needed a little bit more support or a little help, or because they were very wonderful. His college was great, but it really kind of disrupted the entire college. With the entire college, the security was looking for him, professors were looking for him. So, we realized then that we needed to have a little bit more of a handle on him, because it never even dawned on him that he should tell somebody where he wanted to be rather than working with his tutor. So sometimes you have to understand that they're also 19 years old, and they're growing up, and they'll be teenagers, and as teenagers they may not understand certain dangers. Never mind, a lot of autistic children don't understand the certain dangers, but that doesn't really change, to tell you the truth. So but he was very good natured about it. We actually explained it to him, and we told him that he was going to wear this from now on because of the hullabaloo he raised, and he actually didn't really give us too much of a hard time about it. He didn't actually give us a hard time at all. He's always been a very logical young man when it comes to these things. So I wanted just to explain that we just didn't decide to LoJack him as a young man. You saw that Black Mirror episode where the parent had the GPS device for their teenager and she runs away from home. We're not that kind of parents. This was really an emergency that prompted us to have to use AngelSense for him. Oh, okay. What does
We have a question. What do they look like? And do you have your device with you, or is your son wearing it? So he's probably wearing it.
Oh, my son is, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I don't have it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. He's
out and about. Yeah, no, he's out and about with his device. But there are two devices. One looks like a small pager. You're going to show, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one looks like, okay.
Yeah, so these are the two devices. One of them is like a tiny Android phone, and the other one looks like a little pager. So they're very thin. They don't really take up a lot of space. They're very light. We have a page on our website in the help section that shows the difference between the two devices and each of their features, because some features are compatible with one device and some aren't. We recommend the smaller device for smaller children, and the larger device is using the Verizon network. So if you have Verizon that's really strong a strong signal in your area or where you live, so this is the one that you want to choose. The smaller device is the GPS one, which uses the AT&T or T-Mobile network. So that's important to know when you are choosing them, which network is going to work best in your area. And we also have, I'm just going to show you while I have the person on asking, we have the fabric sleeve that the device comes in. You put it inside, and then you attach this to their waistline or lock it inside of a pocket with one of these strong magnetic pins. We also have a belt accessory, which can be placed around their waist. My son likes to wear his above his belly button, so it's a little bit above where his pants line is. Like, it doesn't interfere with going to the bathroom or anything. You don't have to take it off. And then I'm just gonna zoom out to I have my little dummy doll here. This is the undershirt that has a pocket that you can put the device into. It fits both devices, and it's a stretchy fabric that can be worn underneath, and it also feels like a compression shirt. So there's a bunch of different wearing options, and everybody can choose what they want. So if anybody has any other questions about what it looks like, you could go to our website at angelsense.com, and you can find pictures of it and there's a video that I did about the different wearing options. So, yeah.
I would like to also mention one thing, because my sons are older, they're not gonna, when you have a teenager, an older teenager who's a little more higher into functioning, or what we'll call high functioning right now, they might not like to have something attached to their clothes, or to wear the belt around their waist. What we got for our sons was just a regular cell phone holder that goes on their belt, and we just put the AngelSense in that, and that way they just walk around. Everybody just thinks it's another phone attachment, and they just look like a regular nerdy kid walking around with more than one phone. So so that's a way too, that if you have an older child and they balk at wanting to wear one of the things that they consider for younger kids, that's an idea my husband came up with.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Thank you. Yes, it's available in Michigan, Amy. It's available all over the United States and in Canada right now. Okay, Christine wants to know, when she's in transit and arrives at a location, it takes about 7 to 10 minutes before the app shows the location on. Is that normal timing? Well, from what I understand, it really basically is normal timing. What happens is, when you have a named location, the GPS doesn't constantly try to find you. So they actually go, what is it, between like 10 to 15 minutes, and they'll update. It's when you don't have a named location, the GPS is trying to figure out where the child is. So you'll start getting locations a lot quicker, like every minute or every 30 seconds, I think it is, Sidra, that it updates like that until you name the location. But that's why it may take like 7 to 10 minutes, only because the GPS is catching up, and the phone itself is not working overtime. It's part of the battery. When you want to try to save battery on your device, you have a named location, and that way the GPS doesn't go into overdrive. If you don't have a named location, the GPS goes into overdrive, and you use a lot of battery life. It's sort of like a catch-22 situation. You have to decide what's sort of best for you in the situation that you're in, to figure out how much battery life you need, what you don't need. I remember that I was talking to someone, and we talked about how, if you know that your child's going to some place, but you want to keep more of an access on them, you could actually put the AngelSense into runner mode, I think, without actually alerting. I don't know, Sidra, maybe you know this. If you put it into runner mode when you want to just watch where they're going and get quicker updates, does it automatically call your first responders?
No, it doesn't. Runner mode doesn't alert the first responders unless you use the first responders alert. So runner mode just makes everything move a lot faster. You can look at if they're in transit, if they're traveling in a vehicle, so you can see it in real time on the map with faster updates in runner mode. It also just gives you the access to the Wi-Fi if you're, indoor search, if you're looking for, if you need to listen in, that's all under runner mode. So right. And so then you would get quicker updates, but you'd use a lot more battery life. So it's sort of like I said, it's like a catch-22 that you have to figure out what's best for you at that moment and what your child is doing. So. Okay, there's a long question. I'm going to close the screen for me.
Okay. She gets false alerts when it's just plugged in and he's not wearing it. We've been through several models and don't know how to stop it. The other is that when I plug it in, I have to hold down the side button to hear the device. Why does it keep shutting off? Well, I don't think if you have the GPS 2, it shouldn't be shutting off at all. That's the GPS 1, and when you plug in the GPS 1 into the charger, it should automatically turn on. So I don't think you should have to hold down the button at all. I don't think we've ever held down the button for the GPS 2 unless we were like resetting it, and it's sort of automatic that when you plug it in, you'll hear devices charging. And as far as the false notifications, sometimes we notice that too, is like it'll be charged, it'll be in the charger, and we'll get a notification that, that somebody is like a mile away or something. But you take a look on your app and you see, at what miles they're going. Say if like they're a mile away and it's showing 0 miles per hour, you just know that that's a false notification.
I just want to add, like, from the technical perspective, like why people might get false notifications. There's so many things that could affect it. It could be weather. It could be people that are, a lot of people on cellular data traffic, things like that. It could be, when the satellites are crossing and then you have, they pass from one satellite to the next while we're in orbit or while they're in orbit. So you have like this little tiny glitch of data transfer. And so sometimes that happens. What I notice is if there's a false alert, it's usually like an obviously obnoxious false alert, like you said, like he's all of a sudden on the other side of town. And it's usually just a signal that got through. And it's definitely, if you think that you're getting too many false alerts, then definitely what you can do is you can expand your border a little bit, because it might be that you're just within a range of a very strong cell tower that is picking it up, if it keeps happening in the same place. The other reason could be that your SIM card might just be the wrong one for your area, that it's just not good enough coverage. You want to look at the bottom on the status bar of your app and check to make sure that you have good cell coverage. Another way to reduce the false alerts is to connect to your home Wi-Fi. It also just makes the server know, like makes the analytics know that you're at home, so it shouldn't happen as much. With regards to the device's charging notification, that is being announced on your device when you charge it every single time. And if your battery is running out before you charge it, so you do have to hold down the button to turn it on. That's something it's just a technology. That's a device. You have to do that. If you notice that you're running out of battery very, very frequently, or it's not lasting for more than 15, it should be 12 to 15 hours if you have the GPS 2 device, sometimes up to 24 if you're in named locations and you're not using the runner mode a lot or the other features, then definitely contact customer support, and they can do like a remote check of your device and they can see if there's anything really wrong. So definitely keep that in mind.
I would also want to mention one thing too, is that simply because your phone service may be, let's say, Verizon, it doesn't mean that an AT&T device wouldn't be better for your purposes when it comes to AngelSense. And sometimes you need to ask customer service to check which is the better device for you, because I know, like, I'll use Verizon on my cell service, and we're lucky we can use Verizon around here for the GPS. But when it comes to certain schools in our area, you have to have AT&T because Verizon just doesn't pick up there. So depending on where you want to go and what purpose you want to use it for, you can't rely on what your personal cell service is for the GPS, and you really should ask customer service and make sure which is the best one to use too.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is if you're, let's say you're ordering during off hours, during office hour, when office hours are closed, there you can just go into AT&T or Verizon on their websites, and you can put your zip code in, and you can check to see what your coverage is in your area, which is best for you. So it's definitely something that will affect the alerts. So Christine is saying that it still happens with the saved location. So then definitely contact customer support so they can do and analyze what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't use the shirt. I'm going to mention, I'll just answer this one. So Bert's asking about the compression shirt for a 4-year-old. Yeah, we have a size chart on our website. If you go to our website and go into the help section, you can find a size chart and you can measure. The small would probably be the best. It would fit a 4-year-old.
Yeah. Well, what's really nice about the compression shirt too, because it gives an autistic child that anxiety, the anti-anxiety stuff that they need. Because I remember when my boys were little, they didn't have a lot of these kind of devices to help you, whether it's the compression shirt or it's the weighted blanket. They actually used to put bean bags on my son's legs in OT to keep him calm and to get rid of his anxiety so he could do his work. So I think there's a double thing with these compression shirts. It not only holds the AngelSense, but it gives your child that anti-anxiety hold that a lot of autistics find really, really comforting. Yes, it works in Maine. It works all over the United States and in Canada. So as we said, it's just depending on where you are, which one of the devices works best in your area.
Right. So I'll add just so if anybody else wants to know, you can use the device across state lines. So if you're in Maine and you're traveling to Michigan and you want to wear your AngelSense, let's say your child is going on vacation or visiting grandparents or going to camp or something, so they can take their AngelSense with them. So it works anywhere that there's cellular coverage that has the cellular coverage that your device is compatible with.
Absolutely. Jessie's saying that she has a 6-year-old son with ADHD and he is a wanderer. He elopes and she's needed police 2 times already this last year. This is exactly what AngelSense was created for, is for situations like this. That's, it's a godsend, I think, for people who have young children with these issues. So yes, definitely. And you can actually add the police as your first responders on your app and with your device, so that if there's ever an instance where he does elope, you can contact them immediately, and then they can actually look in the app and see where he would be, and without having, nobody has to panic at all. Right to the spot where he is, and everybody could help. So yes, definitely, this is for you. Sidra?
Yeah, I'll answer. It's fine. I'll answer this. Anything that's like more technical or prices, I'll get it. Bert, all of our plans come with the 60 minutes for free that come with the plan. And if you need additional minutes, then you can add those as you need, and those carry over for as long as you have it. The 60 minutes free gets used at the beginning of the month. I personally, Elise can tell her experience, I personally use the listen in a lot at the beginning, and then after after you're in a routine and after you're, through a transition period, then I stopped using it so much. I use it for 30-second periods, maybe at a time. I call, listen to see what's going on. Unless there's like some situation that you're really concerned about abuse or mistreatment. So I would definitely, you can use the minutes, the 60 minutes every month come for free, and the additional minutes are able to be added on.
Yeah. Honestly, because they're older, it's a different situation. We don't really use that much of the listen in the the angel call actually with them. But I remember when they were younger and my younger one was actually being picked on the bus, it would have been really nice to have the listen in device there so we could actually identify who the children were who were picking on him. They have video. So, some buses in America have video, some don't. But it would have been it would have been actually good for that. And I think that a lot of people actually get the device also because their special needs child is being picked on and they can't identify who may be the bully. This is a little bit of a device you can use for that reason. There shouldn't be any problem with using it on the bus actually at all. Oh, that's Amy. She's writing in that she has the GPS-2 device and she loves it. She's had it for 2 years, and her son reminds her that if she forgets to put him on, he calls it the homing beacon. That's what I love it because that's exactly what my son feels like. He feels very secure when he wears his AngelSense, even though he's all grown and he's supposed to be an adult, because it gives them a sense of security. And what I was saying before is that a lot of times no matter how high functioning they are, they get overwhelmed in situations, and they know if they're wearing the AngelSense that you can find them. You know where they are. It's a wonderful thing. My second son went into the city the other day for some job interviews, and he had actually never worn the AngelSense before. And we just turned to him before he left and said, we'd like you to wear the AngelSense. And he could be very contrary sometimes, but he just turned around and said, okay, stick it on my belt. And I was able to track him and follow where he went. So it does. It gives them this sense of security. And I think that they really, really like it once they really understand what's going on. So that's a very good thing. And explain it to them too. You'd be surprised how much they understand when they're very young. I like to tell the story. When my oldest one was 9 years old, we had not told him he was autistic. And he had had all this help from school since he was like 5 years old. He had had a lot of problems before then. And when we finally got into kindergarten, he was put in a special classroom and brought in back to school and had an aide. And then it was he was in an inclusive classroom that had a regular ed teacher and a special ed teacher. And my husband and I wasn't really sure what we should tell him, when we should tell him. And the school psychologist told us at 9 years old, you guys need to tell him that he has autism. So we sat him down and we wanted to tell him, and we told him, and he turned to us and he says, oh, so I didn't do anything wrong that I have an aide. And he all these years had felt bad about himself. He thought he had done something wrong, that he had all the support and the other children didn't have the support. So that actually really hurt my heart a lot that we hadn't told him earlier. But it's the lesson I like to tell people is tell your children what this is. Tell them they have autism. It doesn't have to be an excuse. I mean, tell them they have ADD. It doesn't have to be an excuse for poor behavior. They're not going to feel bad about themselves. They're going to understand why they're a little bit different or why they have trouble doing some things and other children don't. Tell them why they're wearing the AngelSense. This is because we love you and we want you to be safe. They are so willing and so happy to embrace these kind of things. You'd be really surprised. So oh, that's great. Deb says that we love our AngelSense devices. Our two sons know they don't leave home without it. When our mostly nonverbal son wants to go out, he'll say, AngelSense. AngelSense is an important part of our everyday lives. That's wonderful. It is. I think it is. That's what I'm saying. If they understand, one of the things that I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Carly Fleischman. Carly Fleischman is an autistic self-advocate, and she's nonverbal. I believe she's Canadian. And she actually has she had a YouTube channel for a while. I think she went away. I think she had some physical problems, but she understood from the time she was a child, she's a grown woman now, but from the time she was a small child, she always understood what was going on around her. She just couldn't verbalize it. And, you know, with the advent of modern technology, she was able to use computers and to get her ideas and her thoughts across. And that's what we have to understand, that just because a child is nonverbal doesn't mean they don't understand. It just means that they can't speak, and that you can provide them other ways for speaking. You know, they have a lot of iPad apps now. You'll find a lot of things discussed on autistic self-advocacy pages, but they do understand. So it's important that we tell them that about AngelSense and about its benefits and how we love them and that we protect them this way. Hi, April. How are you today? So I just want to let everybody know that what you're seeing is my blog called Raising Asperger's Kids. The URL is practicalautism.com. And I have taken I've only written it for about the last 10 years. And so you can go on that blog, and I've curated a lot of practical information for parents. And you'll go on the sidebar, you'll see I created a tab for how to create a support community, different ideas you should know, practical information by age. There's a tab where I'm really cheeky called non-politically correct parenting, just different things. And you could go on there. It's information that I try to share with all the different parents out there. And your child doesn't just have to be autistic either. There's a lot of practical information that can be used for any sort of learning disability that a child can have. If you know, the way that you organize a child, certain things that you do for a child that has ADD, or if your child just has OCD, or or if your child has a nonverbal learning disability. A lot of these practical informations work across the board for any issue your child may face. So please go onto my blog and take a look. Oh, April says she just wanted to say we love our AngelSense and thanks for all you do. And my son calls it his tracker. Yeah, they just love everything that happens. The children really are surprisingly open and they feel secure. I don't think, and understanding, like what I said before, that when they understand that this is to help them because they have issues, and what you're trying to do is make life easier for them. And I think that they all love it. I think they feel that you're trying to help them this way. Do we have any more questions?
Okay, if anybody has any more questions about using AngelSense, about wearing AngelSense, if you are an AngelSense user, if you have any advice for anyone that might be looking for a GPS tracker, you can leave a comment. I wanted to just mention in the meantime that we are having a special right now, and the special is the summer special, and we're having a waterproof cover that gets sent free with every single order. And so I'm just going to show you the waterproof cover. It is a flexible cover with a very strong magnetic closure, and it fits the device. It fits both devices, so you can fit either device in it, and it is waterproof. You can put it inside of a pocket, the swimsuit, and you can fold this over so that it can fit really nicely inside of a pocket. You can't pin it because it's waterproof and it will make a hole, but you can lock it inside of the pocket with pins. So if you are ordering AngelSense, then you can see that the waterproof cover comes for free with it right now during the summer special. And if you are an AngelSense user already and you want a waterproof cover, you can order it from your app. So it's already in the store.
Well, can you use it with the belt too, Sidra?
So it doesn't fit in the belt just because the closure is actually, it won't go in. So I've seen people come up with some creative ideas that they're using, like a running belt, or one of those bands that people wear when they run and they put their phones, a waistband, something like that, just for when they go swimming, so it can go underneath clothing. So yeah, we have a question. So I'm just going to move over to the question. Jesse is asking about financing. We understand that it's difficult to add another bill to your budget and to your finances, and we've put together some funding options. If you go to our website at angelsense.com, you can go all the way to the bottom, and you can see on the bottom of the page it says funding options, and we have a list of different resources that you can use. A Medicaid waiver to pay for it. So if you do have a Medicaid waiver, definitely get your caseworker to be in touch with us, and it's just a matter of processing the paperwork. If you have a child that elopes, you can get a diagnosis from a doctor, and it can help with applying to your insurance for that. So there's a lot of information on our website. So I'm going to let you address this one.
Okay, last night we went to Ocean Breeze Water Park, and another lady with her autistic daughter liked my son's AngelSense, and she is going to order it. That's great. I think that more people, it's really interesting the amount of families that have autistic children or have children with some kind of learning disability out there in the world today. And I think, and a lot of families don't make it public, and you don't know about it. But when we go out into the world and we show AngelSense, or we show that we care, we can embrace, other people embrace the ideas, and we form this wonderful community. And I think it's each of us helping each other, parent to parent. And I think it's a really great thing. Christine says, my 8-year-old son, who is mostly nonverbal, low cognitive, thinks it's his cell phone. He feels important when he wears it. Absolutely. Teenagers are teenagers, and they want to be like everybody else. And I think if we find this situation and we let them, be like everybody else, and find something that helps them. And Christine said that Medicaid paid for her son's device. That's great. I'm glad. That's really terrific, because they should.
Yeah, I agree. And there's actually Kevin and Avante's law, which was just passed at the beginning of this year, was added to the funding budget for the president. He just signed it at the end of March. And so there's going to be funds available more for agencies and nonprofits that need to supply this sort of device for families that really need it. So we're keeping an eye on that, and if we have more information, then we'll definitely share it.
That's great. Yeah. Tiffany says, we have been using AngelSense for nearly 2 years. When we first started using it, he wouldn't wear it, so we called it his dinosaur tail. I love that, because he was into dinosaurs. Now he calls it his GPS and screams that he isn't safe if he doesn't have it on. It has been a wonderful addition to our family. Thanks for coming up with such a great product to keep our babies safe. That's absolutely wonderful. And I love that dinosaur tail. It's interesting how many of our children just love dinosaurs. My oldest one was like basically nonverbal up until the age of 7. He couldn't even form a sentence, but by the time he was 5, he knew every name of every dinosaur. But he would give you like detailed facts about it. And one of the best parts was when we were out to dinner one time with my grandfather. He had my father-in-law, he had the nerve to mispronounce the name of a dinosaur. And my son got so annoyed, turned to him and said, no, and then pronounced the name of the dinosaur properly. And of course, in the middle of the restaurant, my father-in-law breaks out laughing because it was just so hysterical. But I love that idea of dinosaur tail. But it's funny how much our children just love dinosaurs. Christine wants to know, I've been asked a lot of people can use or buy AngelSense if they do not have special needs. You can. A lot of people will buy AngelSense. They have different issues that they need. It's not just for a special needs child. It's geared towards special needs children. But if you're having other kinds of issues that you're concerned about, you can buy AngelSense. No one's going to stop you. I mean, one of the things that's we're finding, I think, with AngelSense, there's a lot of families with older parents who have Alzheimer's or dementia are finding that it's an essential device that they need, because one of the things people don't talk about is the wandering and eloping of older people who happen to have dementia and Alzheimer's. And I think that this is something that we that helps them. And I know that I've spoken to people about that before, that it gives them a sense of security with their parents who are not well as well. But
we have a lot of users that tell us that they don't want to give their children cell phones yet, but they still want to be able to have the capability to track them or call them. And so a lot of the features that we've developed are basically taking every single app you can imagine on a cell phone and putting it all into one app and having you control it. So it's really it's great. It's amazing for, smaller children. You don't want to give them a smartphone yet or something. It's just a great way to be able to keep track of them, and they don't have to wear it on them if they're not, at risk for running or elopement. You can put it in a bag. We have really small children that the parent attaches it to a diaper bag for their toddlers. It's really flexible. It's up to anybody who what they want to do with it.
Yeah. Deb says, I shared my coupon code with a family, and it was a pleasant surprise to get an email from AngelSense sharing that coupon has been used and they ordered AngelSense. Well, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. That we have that on our app. They have, you can share your code with people. So I've shared it too. I have sent it to people, and
that's great. If anybody's an AngelSense user, it's inside of your app. You can just share your code. You can share, it's called Invite a Friend, and it gives them a $50 coupon for when they sign up. So if you know an AngelSense user, you can ask them to share the coupon.
That's good. No, it's good. That's what I'm saying. It's community. We get people to help. Yeah. That's what's really nice about it. So Tiffany says, yes, that's exactly how our son is. He is 5 now and was nonverbal when we first started using it. We also had a teenager we couldn't trust, so we had to use it on her a few times. Being able to track her and listen in to make sure she was doing what she was supposed to do was wonderful. We have very one, so we can only
the version 1.
Oh, the version 1. So we only could listen in, but it got the job done.
So I would just like to address that we are working on AngelCall, so the 2-way call for the GPS one. So that is going to be released very soon. So stay tuned. We're already testing it, and we hope to have that available. You're going to love it. Seriously, it changes your life and the communication between you and your child. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Rosemarie asked, you plan to make more wearables? Her son is 24 and he has the belt, but he wiggles out of it. It's still not 100% foolproof for us. All the other products have not worked for us either.
Okay, I would, he likes to take off the belt. I would, if you can make it a little bit tighter, that's what I would recommend. My son tells me when I attach it to him, he tells me exactly when it's snug enough on him, and he likes to jump up and down to see if it's rubbing up against his sides because he doesn't like that feeling. I'm not sure if he doesn't remove his clothes, then you could try attaching it to, if he's large, he's 24, so I would definitely try attaching it to like the bottom of his pants at the cuff along right next to the shoe, like at the hem. You can also attach it to the back of the waistline. We have some adult users that have told us that that's how they use it. So they lock it on the back of their waistline before they get dressed. Yeah, Christine's going to be sending coupons. Yay! Thanks. No, it's really great to be able to share stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great, Nancy. Thumbs up. Thanks, Nancy.
Nancy.
Okay. Does anyone have any more questions? We're going to, if anyone has any more questions about AngelSense, about using AngelSense, about, you know, we have Elise here who is one of our super users and uses AngelSense for her older children, and she can help you with anything. I can help you with anything. We're here to help. You can send a message to our page and we'll be able to help you if you have any more questions. I think we're gonna go for today. It was really nice to have you on, Elise. Thank you so much for
Thank you. It was fun.
being available and just answering all the questions. And thanks everyone for joining us. And if you have, again, if you still have questions, you can leave them in the comments and we'll get to them. We'll definitely reply to those questions for you. So thanks a lot and hope you guys have a nice day.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.